Hi, thanks for joining me. I want to talk a little bit about mother guilt. This has been a theme that's come up quite often, and what it revolves around is the idea that it's selfish if we put ourselves first. It's a common theme that's been coming up, and what I want to say is that there's many people who are feeling guilty because they're feeling a call that they have something to be in service to or some gift that they want to offer in the world, and they're also holding their children, their families, a partner, maybe even their parents and communities, and that's a lot to hold when there's also the impulse for something very personal that wants to birth out of us into the world. And there can seem like there's competition for our attention and our energy. Sometimes I know the most productive time of my entire day is that hour when I was by myself processing. And then when I was done and I stepped out and engaged in regular life activities again, there was a clarity and a potency to my action that wouldn't have come if I was just on that treadmill of trying to keep up with the next thing, with the next thing, with the next thing. And we're holding other people. That's what women do. We do emotional labor that's not valued in our current society in the same way that we attribute monetary value to things, services and goods that are tangible, that are obvious to people. And so when we do that emotional labor piece, or I'm going to call it spiritual labor as well, because we hold energetically our children and our families and our communities, as we do that, we need to have clarity. We need to have groundedness to do that. There's a skill in doing that, and it's very easy for people to say, well, I don't think you're doing anything. But the example that comes to mind is that if a woman dies, her husband doesn't live as long. And if a man dies, his wife, statistically speaking, lives longer. And it's because women or those with a capacity to hold the feminine principle, we do holding and processing for others and our partners. And that is what has to become valued in the way things are changing, because women are emptying ourselves out. Our cups are empty as we try to do this for others, and we can't show up for others unless we have very good boundaries around saying, I need to recharge for myself. That's an incredibly healthy thing to do. It allows us to be way more potent in the actions that we take in the world. And another immeasurable value to it is that it's emulating to our children how to pay attention to their internal, deeper needs and live in congruence with what they want to do and express in the world with what the heart's desire is and the capacity to fill it. There's so much information that they can learn by the self-reflection and the decisions that the parents make and how they care for themselves. That is crucial for kids to learn if we're going to stop the dysfunctional patterns from being passed on from generation to generation. I would like to give you complete permission to let go of any mother or any parent guilt that you're carrying, any guilt around putting yourself first. Indeed, it's the most healthy thing that you can do, and it's worthwhile to know that when you create an environment where you can thrive, the world doesn't work on sacrifice, that it means somebody else is sacrificed and not looked after. It means that they're free in a responsible way to look after their own needs. Now, I hope that you understand that I'm not saying that a parent needs to stop parenting, but there's something around emulating good boundaries about taking care of yourself and what you need to do in a way that doesn't put anybody's safety in jeopardy. I'm just talking about basic self and emotional spiritual care. And that's something that our kids, I certainly wasn't brought up in a generation where that was modeled to me. And so hugely important, please do that. The world needs more people who are thriving, who are congruent with their soul's impulse, and who have the actual capacity to show up with their feet on the ground and do the work of holding each other in a way that no one is sacrificed anymore. So bless your journey, take care of yourself.